Have you ever heard of a time when hundreds of people suddenly began dancing and simply couldn't stop? It sounds like something out of a horror movie or a strange legend, but this was a real historical event. It was one of several outbreaks of dancing mania recorded across Europe between the 14th and 17th centuries, with the most famous occurring in Strasbourg in 1518. The outbreak began on July 14, 1518, when a woman known as Frau Trophia stepped onto the narrow cobbled street outside her home in Strasbourg in present-day France and began dancing uncontrollably. There was no music, no celebration, and no festival. She simply danced. At first, people assumed she would eventually stop, but she didn't. She reportedly danced for days, pausing only briefly to rest before continuing. Soon, others began joining her. Within a week, dozens of people were dancing in the streets. Before long, the number had grown into the hundreds. Witnesses described violent spasms, trembling limbs, and bodies drenched in sweat. Many dancers became severely exhausted as they continued moving for hours or even days. Some reportedly danced until their feet were swollen and injured, while others collapsed from dehydration, hunger, or exhaustion. Historical accounts also suggest that some participants died from the strain. Although the exact number remains uncertain, the city authorities were baffled. Physicians believed the dancers suffered from what they called hot blood, and concluded the only cure was to let them keep dancing until the condition passed. In one of history's most unusual decisions, officials hired musicians and built wooden stages, hoping the dancers would recover by dancing even more. Instead, the situation only worsened. Eventually, music and dancing were banned, and those affected were taken to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, where they took part in prayers and religious rituals. Gradually, by September, the outbreak came to an end. More than 500 years later, historians and scientists still debate what caused the dancing plague. The leading theory is mass psychogenic illness, in which fear, stress, famine, and disease may have triggered a widespread psychological response. Another theory suggests ergot poisoning, caused by a fungus growing on rye, though many experts believe this would not explain days of continuous dancing. Others argue that the deep religious beliefs of the time may have influenced people's behavior in extraordinary ways. Despite centuries of research, no single explanation fully accounts for what happened, making the dancing plague of 1518 one of history's most enduring mysteries. What do you think caused the dancing plague? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.